What in the world is going on in the front office? Are we truly witnessing a strategic pivot, or just another round of musical chairs that leaves us right back where we started? The Chicago Bulls, a team perpetually stuck in the NBA's murky middle, are once again at the epicenter of trade speculation, and the name on everyone's lips is Coby White. The dynamic guard, who has shown flashes of brilliance and frustrating inconsistency, is reportedly on the block as his contract winds down, making him a prime rental candidate for any contender. But this isn't just about moving an expiring contract. It's about the Bulls finally making a move that dictates a clear direction, something we've been begging for. The Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that has consistently fallen short in the Western Conference Finals the past 2 seasons, are still heavily linked to White. They desperately need a true point guard to complement Anthony Edwards, a floor general who can orchestrate the offense and provide stability when their superstar is off the court. They believe White could be the missing piece to push them over the top against elite defensive teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder. This isn't just a minor upgrade for them, it's a potential game changer for a team with legitimate championship aspirations. Now, let's talk about the latest trade proposal from CBS Sports' Sam Quinn, because this one throws a curveball that demands our attention. The proposed deal sends Coby White and Jevon Carter to Minnesota. In return, the Bulls would receive veteran guard Mike Conley, along with 2 high-upside recent first-round picks, Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. on the surface. It looks like a package of youth and a veteran placeholder. But let's be brutally honest, Bulls fans. Where's the unprotected first-round pick we were just talking about? The one the Bulls were reportedly demanding for White? This proposal completely sidesteps that demand, offering instead 2 unproven, albeit talented, young players and an aging point guard. Is this the realistic asking price Arturas Karnisovas is now embracing, or is it a significant step down from the aggressive stance we just heard about? The fans are already buzzing. Some seeing potential in the young talent, others feeling a familiar sense of disappointment that the Bulls might be settling for less than they should. This isn't just a trade. It's a litmus test for the Bulls' true valuation of their assets and their commitment to a meaningful rebuild. Let's dissect this proposed trade from every angle, because the implications for both the Bulls and the Timberwolves are profound, and the perceived value of this deal shifts dramatically depending on which side of the negotiating table you're on. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, this trade is an absolute no-brainer, resounding yes. They acquire the point guard they've been desperately seeking in Coby White, a player who can immediately step in and elevate their offense, providing the crucial playmaking and secondary scoring needed to break through in the Western Conference. They also get Jevon Carter, a solid defensive guard, adding depth to their backcourt. Crucially, they achieve this without giving up any future draft picks, a move they'll undoubtedly push for, especially with other teams reportedly interested in White. Furthermore, Minnesota manages to hold onto key rotation players like Dante DiVincenzo, whom they've been reluctant to move. Instead, they part with Rob Dillingham, the number 8 overall pick in 2024 who hasn't cracked their rotation, and Terrence Shannon Jr., another 2024 first-rounder currently sidelined with a foot injury. For a team in win-now mode, these are assets they can afford to move for immediate impact. They're essentially trading potential for proven production, a smart move for a team with championship aspirations. This deal positions them perfectly for a deep playoff run, addressing their most glaring weakness without sacrificing their core or future draft capital. It's a strategic masterstroke for Minnesota, a clear path to bolstering their roster for an NBA Finals push. Now let's turn our attention to the Chicago Bulls, and this is where the conversation gets significantly more complicated and frankly more frustrating for the fan base. The proposal suggests the Bulls would probably like the potential of Rob Dillingham, a high-upside guard who hasn't played enough to be properly evaluated. While Dillingham, as the number 8 pick, certainly carries intrigue, he's a complete unknown. Terrence Shannon Jr. is also a question mark due to injury. And Mike Conley, while a respected veteran, is 36 years old and on the downside of his career, serving more as a placeholder than a long-term solution. The core issue here, Bulls Nation, is the lack of a first-round pick. Just days ago, reports indicated the Bulls were demanding an unprotected first-rounder for Coby White. To pivot from that aggressive stance to accepting two unproven rookies and an aging veteran without any draft compensation feels like a significant downgrade in return. It's a move that screams settling rather than strategizing. If the Bulls are truly looking to rebuild, as many fans desperately hope, then acquiring future draft picks is paramount. Dillingham and Shannon Jr. offer potential, yes, but they don't offer the certainty or the additional assets that a first-round pick provides. This deal, as proposed, feels like a half measure. A move that clears White's expiring contract, but doesn't fundamentally accelerate a rebuild or provide the kind of foundational pieces needed to escape the cycle of mediocrity. It leaves us wondering if the front office is truly committed to a clear direction, or if they're once again opting for the path of least resistance, a path that has consistently led us back to that agonizing 18-21 record. So, Bulls Nation, we're left to ponder this latest trade proposal, a scenario that highlights the ongoing strategic debate within our franchise. If the Bulls were to accept this deal, Coby White and Jevon Carter for Mike Conley, Rob Dillingham, and Terrence Shannon Jr., what would it truly signify for our future? On one hand, acquiring two recent first-round picks, even if unproven, could be seen as a step towards a youth movement. Dillingham, with his high draft pedigree, would undoubtedly be given significant minutes in Chicago, especially if other guards like Ayo Dosunmu or Trey Jones were also moved. This would give the Bulls a chance to evaluate his potential as a long-term piece, a crucial step if they're finally committing to a rebuild. Shannon Jr., once healthy, also adds another young, athletic wing to the mix. However, the glaring omission of a first-round pick in this deal remains a significant point of contention. For a team that has been stuck in the 18-21 rut for 4 consecutive seasons, a team that desperately needs to replenish its asset cupboard, trading a valuable, albeit expiring, asset like Coby White without securing future draft capital feels like a missed opportunity. It's a move that doesn't fully commit to a rebuild, nor does it provide the immediate upgrade needed to push the current roster into true contention. It's a middle ground solution that risks keeping the Bulls firmly entrenched in their familiar purgatory. We've seen this kind of potential before, and it often leads to more questions than answers. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, this trade is a clear win. They address their most pressing need, acquire a dynamic guard in Coby White, and bolster their depth, all without sacrificing any future draft picks or core rotation players. This move would undoubtedly make them a more formidable opponent in the Western Conference, potentially giving them the edge they need to finally break through to the NBA Finals. They're making a decisive move to capitalize on their championship window, a stark contrast to the Bulls' more hesitant approach. Ultimately, this proposal, like many others, forces us to confront the Bulls' identity crisis. Are they truly ready to wheel and deal for a clear future? Or are they still clinging to the hope of retooling around a flawed core? The fans are clamoring for clarity, for a definitive direction that moves us beyond the endless cycle of mediocrity. Whether it's trading Nikola Vucevic for assets, pursuing a high-upside talent like Zion Williamson, or making a bold move for a top-tier player, the time for decisive action is now. This Coby White proposal, while offering some intriguing pieces, doesn't quite feel like the bold, transformative move many of us are hoping for. It's a step, perhaps, but is it the right step? And is it enough to truly change the narrative for the Chicago Bulls? What do you think, Bulls Nation? Does this trade proposal for Coby White excite you with the potential of Dillingham and Shannon Jr., or are you disappointed by the lack of a first-round pick? Should the Bulls push harder for more assets, or is this a realistic return? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for all the latest unfiltered Bulls news and analysis. We'll be here, breaking it all down every step of the way.